After a still winter night, I awoke with the impression that some question had been put to me. What? How? When? Where? I was looking to answer them. But there was dawning nature, in whom all creatures live, looking in at my broad windows with serene and satisfied face. I awoke to an answered question, to nature and daylight. Morning work consists of taking an axe and pail in search of some water. After a cold and snowy night, it needed a divining rod to find it. The pond reflects every light and shadow and is solid to the depth of a foot to a foot and a half. How do I feel about nature, you ask? Heaven is under our feet as well as over our heads. Early in the morning, while all things are crisp and frost, men come with fishing reels and slender lunch. Wild men, who follow other fashions and trust other authorities than their own townsmen. The things which they practice are said not yet to be known. The pickerel of Walden. I am always surprised by their rare beauty as if they were fabulous fishes. It is surprising that they are caught here, this deep and capacious spring. Now I must recover the long-lost bottom of Walden Pond. I even surveyed it carefully. There have been many stories about the bottom, and many believe it is bottomless. I am thankful that this pond was made deep and pure for a symbol. While men believe in the infinite, some ponds will be thought to be bottomless. This pond is far from regular. Will this hint conduct to the deepest part of the ocean as well as above a pond or puddle? If we only knew all the laws of nature, we should need only fact or the description of one actual phenomenon to infer all the results at that point. A person's behavior and circumstances will determine the depths of his or her soul. As for the inlet of Walden, I have not discovered any but rain and snow and evaporation. At my second winter at the pond, 100 men and more arrived at Walden to collect ice. This ice was later sold for profit. One day as I was going to my well for water, I met the servant of the Brahmin priest of Brahman and Vishnu and Indra. The servant came to draw water for his master. The pure Walden water is mingled with the sacred water of the Ganges. The opening of large tracts by the ice cutters commonly causes a pond to break up earlier. The pond commonly opens about the 1st of April. Walden is least affected by transient changes of temperature. This phenomena of the year takes place every day in a pond on a small scale. The crackling and booming of the ice indicates a change of temp. Coming to the woods, I get to see spring come in. The ice in the pond at length begins to be honeycombed. Fogs and rains and warmer suns are gradually melting the snow. I am on the alert for the first signs of spring. In 1845, Walden was completely open on the 1st of April. I recorded this for years after. There was this one old man who was extremely wise when it came to nature. But one day, while going duck hunting, the cracking of the pond scared him. I love observing the way the sand reacts to the change in temperature also. The texture, color, movement, everything. The whole bank, which is from 20 to 40 feet high, is sometimes overlaid with a mass of this kind of foliage or sandy rupture. The sandy overflow is a lot like the vitals of the animal body. It is wonderful how rapidly yet perfectly the sand organizes itself as it flows. This is spring. It precedes the green and flowery spring, as mythology precedes regular poetry. Nature is in full blast within. You may melt your metals and cast them into the most beautiful molds you can. They will never excite me like the forms which this molten earth flows out into. Spring is amazing. Everything about it is. The animals, the green grass, and Walden. Walden was dead and is alive again. In a pleasant spring morning, all men's sins are forgiven. Through our own recovered innocence, we discern the innocence of our neighbors. One day while fishing, I got a rare mess of golden and silver and bright fishes, which looked like a string of jewels. And so the seasons went rolling on into summer. Thus was my first year's life in the woods completed, and the second year was similar to it. I finally left Walden September 6, 1847. To the sick, the doctors wisely recommend change of air and scenery. Thank heaven, here is not all the world. The universe is wider than our views of it. Every man is the lord of the realm besides which the earthly empire of the Tsar is but a petty state, a hummock left by the ice. Yet some can be patriotic who have no self-respect and sacrifice the greater to the less. Patriotism is a maggot in their heads. I left the woods for as good a reason as I went there. Perhaps it seemed to me that I had several more lives to live and could not spare any more time for that one. I learned this, at least by my experiment, that if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. If you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That is where they should be. Now put foundations under them. We will not be shipwrecked on a vain reality. However mean your life is, meet it and live it. Do not shun it and call it hard names. It looks poorest when you are richest. Love your life, poor as it is. Also, things do not change, we change. Superfluous wealth can buy superfluities only. Money is not required to buy one necessary of the soul. So rather than love, money, fame, give me truth. Truly we are deep thinkers. We are ambitious spirits. The life in us is like the water in the river. It may rise a sheer higher than man has ever known it, and flood parched uplands. The light which puts out our eyes is darkness to us. Only that day dawns to which we are awake. There is more to dawn. The sun is but a morning star.